Hey guys, Andre here. Welcome back to Hibike Unshelved. So today we're going to be reviewing the Sound Euphonium 10th anniversary disc Minna no Story, or Everybody's Story. This was released, I believe, at the end of December. I ended up getting it in late January, and I haven't had a chance to listen to it and review it until now. But here we go. Let's do a review. But first, I want to do an unboxing and a little bit of a tour to show you guys what actually comes in this package. So first off, if you don't know what this is, the 10th anniversary disc is a drama CD. It comes with a couple different short stories with the voice actors from the anime, basically reenacting some scenes from the novel stories that weren't adapted in the anime. So this is a audio-only drama CD. And KyoAni actually did a similar set 5 years ago with the 5th anniversary disc. But let's take a look at the 10th anniversary disc. So here's the front of the package. Of course, it has the Kitauji Quartet plus Mayu. Obviously, this is in reference to one of the first key visuals for Sound Euphonium Season 3, which is also a good point because the stories on this disc take place around the time of Season 3. On the spine, it's like a green color. It has the same thing there. And it says the 10th anniversary logo on the back. So I ordered this from the KyoAni shop online, and the bonus for the KyoAni shop online pre-order was this little pack of postcards. So why don't we just look through these for a second. Got one right there. It's a cute one. Not sure where these are specifically from. Yep, that's about it. Now let's take a look at the contents of the box. There is an already included set of postcards, much bigger though. So we got this one, pretty cute, very wintry themed. I'm not really sure if there's a theme going on here, because again, this is those were winter themed, this is summer themed. And then that's it. These are not newly created illustrations for this set. These illustrations, I believe, have existed before. I've definitely seen some of these before. But yeah, I'm curious how they chose these. There's nothing on the back though. So they're basically just photo cards. Now, let's take a look at the, oh, missed a couple postcards. So we also have this one from Liz and the Bluebird. This one's a cute one. This lighting is pretty interesting. And then, wow, the best band pictures are when everybody's jumping into the air. Yeah, I think that's a quote from Bocchi the Rock. Anyway, back to UFO. So let's take a look at the disc itself. So it comes in this digipack. You open it up like that. Got some scenery from, I believe this is an Uji. This is a real location. I'm not actually sure where it is. Never visited it myself. But inside, here's the disc. Now let's see what's actually on the disc, because they actually detail it in this booklet. This is the 10th anniversary disc special booklet here. So inside we have the set list. So we have 8 tracks, so 8 short stories, and they all range from a couple minutes, up to 10 minutes, I believe. But yeah, so first story. See, Mire is the main character of this one. It's called Blank no Nakami wa Nandaro na. I wonder what's inside blank. Episode 2 is called Ki ga aru ki ga suru. I think she's into me. Then we have Lunchtime Nite with Mayu, at lunchtime. Then we have Yonin wa Osana Najimi, or the 4 of them are childhood friends. So starring the 4 freshmen from season 3. Then we have Doraibu, which is a Minami Chu quartet, Natsuki, Yuko, Mizore, and Nozumi. Little side story. And again, these all take place around the time of season 3. Some of them actually take place after the events of season 3, which is pretty interesting. Next one's called Otona no Sakana, or side dish for adults, or appetizer for adults. And then we have Shin Kanbu Yakushoku Kaigi, the new club leaders positions meeting. So that one's an interesting one. And then we have the former club leader positions meeting with Kumiko, Shuichi, and Reina. Next up we have cast comments from each of the characters that appear in this CD. So of course we have Kumiko and her voice actor Tomoyo Kurosawa. We have Hazuki with Asai Ayaka, Sapphire with Toyota Moe, Reina with Anzai Chika, we have Kuroe Mayu, Shuichi, Kanade, we have Mirei, Satsuki, we have Motomu, Ririka, Suzume, Yayoi, Kaho, Sari, Natsuki, Yuko, Mizore, Nozomi, Taki Sensei, Matsumoto Sensei, Niyama Sensei, and then we have Hashimoto Sensei with Nakamura Yuichi. And then we have a roundtable interview with the director Ishihara Tatsuya, the assistant director assistant director Ogawa Taichi, Fuku Kantoku, and the character design and chief animation director Ikeda Kazumi. And then we have a comment from Takeda Ayano about this CD, so the original author, and an illustration from Asada Nikki, the original illustrator from the novels. And then back here, interesting, they show like all the key visuals for all the box arts, for all the Blu-rays and stuff. And the anniversary discs. Credits, and then we have an ad for the final movement part 1. All right, and the last thing in this set is the script. So the cool thing about this is while you're listening to the CD, you can follow along in the script. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the unboxing. Let's go into the review. In terms of the physical contents of this set, I'm pretty happy with it. I love the new illustration. Just like the 5th anniversary disc, I love that it includes a script to follow along with. One interesting thing to note is that the dialogue on the CD isn't exactly one-to-one the same as the script, so it's clear that they improvised some things and made changes on the fly while recording. The postcards are nice, though maybe a little random. I'm not really sure if there's a theme going on with the selection. And the booklet is great, though one disappointment I have is that they didn't make new illustrations for the episode summaries like they did with the 5th anniversary disc. This one is just using unrelated screenshots from season 3. The cast comments and staff roundtables are good. They gave comments on the experience of recording the CD, as well as their thoughts on the series as a whole now that it's celebrating its 10th anniversary. Here are some of my favorite tidbits. Most of the cast members expressed their hope to reprise their roles again in the future and to continue celebrating UFO for years to come, and I totally agree. Momoka Terasawa, the voice of Kaho, said that even before she was involved with the show, she was a huge fan and would recommend it to her friends. Yuri Yamaoka, the voice of Yuko, talks about how UFO has made her better appreciate her own memories of her middle and high school concert bands, and how she didn't truly fall in love with her own instrument, the oboe, until she heard Mizore play it. Speaking of Mizore, when her voice actor Tatsumi Tanizaki watched the show for the first time, apparently she was blown away and she thought, was that really just an anime? Similarly, Nao Toyama, the voice of Nozomi, specifically shouted out Liz and the Bluebird and its delicately crafted animation, music, voices, and even breathing, she says, saying that this film is truly special and she wonders if she'll ever encounter a work that makes her feel the same way again. From the staff roundtable, one interesting thing that directors Tatsuya Ishihara and Taichi Ogawa both mention is that if UFO 3 was 2 cores, they could have probably included fun little side stories like the ones on this CD, but that it would have dragged out the main story and probably felt like filler. So it's nice to have the opportunity to do it on the CD. They also mentioned that at the time of this conversation, they are still working hard on the final movement films, and that they hope the fun side stories of the CD can be a good accompaniment to the main story when fans revisit it. In terms of the other physical bonuses, one thing I really liked about the 5th anniversary disc is the inclusion of a physical letter that Yuko wrote to Natsuki at graduation, which also ties into one of the episodes on that disc. The 10th anniversary disc doesn't really have something unique like that, unfortunately. It just has the postcards. It's a great set overall, but feels just a little more basic than the 5th anniversary disc, at least as far as the physical inclusions go. But let's talk about the actual episodes themselves. So, all the episodes on this disc are actually based on the short stories in the most recent UFO novel by Ayano Takeda titled Minna no Hanashi, or Everybody's Stories, which tells mini short stories that take place across Season 3's timeline, with some taking place after the ending of Season 3 and serving as mini epilogues. The 10th anniversary disc adapts 8 out of 15 of the short stories from the book, and for the most part I think they made a good selection. It's obvious they wanted to adapt the ones that were mainly dialogue focused rather than like third-person narration focused, which makes sense for an audio drama, and also focus on the light-hearted stories, since this CD is mainly supposed to be like a fun celebration of the series. On the downside, that does mean they left out one of my favorite short stories from the novel, which delves into a heartbreaking part of Mayu's backstory that wasn't mentioned in season 3. Anyway, let's talk about the CD. The first episode is called Maru no Nakami wa Nandaro na, or I Wonder What's Inside Blank, which takes place somewhere between episodes 1 and 2 of season 3. In it, the base section gets together for a takoyaki party at Mirei's house in order to welcome the new first years. So, some classic section bonding time. Mirei prepares a takoyaki cooking station in her family guest room, and everyone brings their own fillings to try.
じゃじゃーん、私はお餅と明太子を持ってきました。じゃあ私はベーコンとウインナー。やっぱりお肉でしょう。緑、チョコとバナナにしました。久美子先輩は一体どんな面白いものを？シンプルにタコ。まあって。
This one's pretty cute. It's fun to hear what each of them brought for their filling. I actually didn't know before this that people put anything other than octopus inside takoyaki. Since Kumiko seemed to like it, I'll have to try making Kanada's cream cheese and honey takoyaki at some point.
それでは久美子先輩、こちらをどうぞ。クリームチーズたこ焼き蜂蜜添えです。これ大丈夫？お疑いになるんですか？後輩の愛を。はいはい、いただきます。おいしい。
I was a little disappointed because at one point Yayoi pitches a rap battle, which seems like the perfect, fun, silly little thing to do in an audio drama, but we end up not hearing it. On the bright side, it's nice to see Mirei's home life and to hear her open up a bit. Episode 2 is called Ki ga aru ki ga suru, or I Think She's Into Me, which takes place somewhere between episodes 5 and 6 of season 3. As the title implies, we have a potential romance. In it, Shuichi's close friend Chikao asks him for advice as he suspects Mayu may be interested in him. Obviously, it's just a misunderstanding, but the two get into a conversation about each other's love lives, with Motomu showing up and getting involved as well. This episode's fun because we get to see this trio's dynamic after we saw them briefly hanging out together at the Agata Matsuri in episode 5 of season 3. It's also interesting to hear how Mayu is perceived by her male classmates. In season 3, we got hints that she was unknowingly popular, but this little audio drama actually confirms that with the boys' POV. Apart from that, we also get some tidbits about how Shuichi feels about Kumiko post-break, how Motomu feels about Sapphire, and Chikao even makes reference to Chieri, the clarinetist who has the hair covering her eyes, who I believe in the novels it's canon that they are dating. Also, as some of the cast and staff mentioned in the booklet, this is a rare scene with only male characters in it.
先輩たちはなぜここに？ん？こいつの恋愛相談に乗ってた。
いやいや、相談してきたのはお前だろ。
ああ、そうですか。
なんだよ、聞いてきた割には反応が薄いな。
あんまり大事そうな話ではなかったので。
お前な。
Episode 3 is called Lunchtime Unite, or At Lunchtime, which takes place around episode 5 of season 3. Reina, Sapphire, and Mayu, which is a interesting trio, are having lunch together as their other friends are busy at a career guidance meeting. They get into a conversation about their future career plans, and Sapphire tells them about her hobby. She's made handmade hairbands and wants them to try them on for her. We hear some cute reactions from Reina and Mayu as they try them on and reluctantly pose for pictures.
じゃーん、レイナちゃんも完成です。ありがとう。あー、かわいい。レイナちゃんもマユちゃんもすごく似合ってます。あ、久美子ちゃんたちにも見せたいので写真撮りましょう。私はいいよ。いいからいいから。こんなに可愛いのに写真を撮らないなんてもったいないです。
As you can imagine, this is an episode that is really asking for some kind of illustration to go along with it. So again, it's unfortunate we don't really get that in the booklet. On the positive side though, it's interesting to hear both Mayu and Sapphire's future career plans and specifically whether they're interested in pursuing music or not. Obviously we know Reina's plans, but Mayu and Sapphire's are ones we didn't hear as much about in season 3. Episode 4 is called Yonin wa Osananajimi, or 4 Childhood Friends, which takes place around episode 5 of season 3. In this one, we get a conversation between Sally, Kaho, Yayoi, and Suzume, the 4 first years, as they are helping out at Sally's family shrine. They talk about their feelings about Kitauji's band so far, as all of them but Sally are beginners, and if you recall from early in season 3, a lot of the beginners were struggling under the pressure, especially with Reina's strict coaching. This episode feels like a mini epilogue to episode 3 of season 3, which I've always felt was a bit incomplete. Euphonium has a few iconic quartets of characters, so it's also nice to see this quartet's dynamic when no other characters are around. One nitpick I do have is that Yayoi and Suzume's voices are somewhat similar, at least to my ears. so it can be sometimes difficult to discern who's talking unless you're following along the script. That said, Sally's voice actor, Emily Suyama, is definitely a standout here for me, giving a subdued but very nuanced performance. I feel like Sally could actually be a great successor to Kumiko as the protagonist if they ever wanted to make a sequel anime.
サンフェスコンクール胸が苦しくて歩みを止めてしまいそうになる時もある。でも幼なじみと過ごす何気ないひとときは私に再び前へ進む一歩を踏み出させてくれる。この3人がいてくれることに私はこっそり感謝した。
Episode 5 is called Drive and takes place around episodes 10 to 11. In it, we take a step away from Kitauji and join the Minamichu Quartet, Natsuki, Yuko, Nozomi, and Mizore, on a road trip during their summer break from university. Honestly, not much to talk about here. It's cute and fun as you'd expect. The four of them have great banter, and there's some moments that actually made me laugh out loud.
そういえばさっき飲むゼリーがあったんやけど飲む？買ったんや？噛んだの。もうあんたには選ばせてあげない。ケチ。ほらみぞれ、何が飲みたい？みかん蛇腹味があるけど。ほぼみかんじゃん。だからあんたには聞いてないって。みぞれどうする？蛇腹。オッケー。はいこれ。そもそも蛇腹って何
？Episode 6 is called Otona no Sakana, or Appetizers for Adults, and this one takes place soon after episode 13. To celebrate winning gold at nationals, Taki-sensei, Michie-sensei, Niyama-sensei, and Hashimoto-sensei decide to get together for drinks at an izakaya. The highlight here is hearing Michie-sensei talk about the struggles and worries she has as a teacher, and reminiscing about what it was like to adjust to a new club advisor when Taki-sensei first started. Niyama-sensei is the POV character in this episode, so we also get some of her thoughts as well. I do wish we got to hear more from Taki-sensei in this episode. He's pretty quiet, but at least we do listen to him order a beer.
滝先輩も今日はたくさん飲んでいいんじゃないですか？
私もですか？
せっかくのおめでたい日ですから。
それもそうですね。じゃあもう一杯ハイボールは。
お？いつもはソフトドリンクなのに。いいじゃないいいじゃない。ほら抹茶ビールもあるよ。
いえ、ハイボールで。
もう冒険心がないんだから。
好きなものを飲むのが一番ですから。
Episode 7 and 8 are a pair. Episode 7 is called Shinkanbu Yakushoku Kaigi, or New Club Leader Positions Meeting, and takes place a few weeks after episode 13. In it, Kumiko, Shuichi, and Reina, the club leaders, meet with the second-year students who they decided to offer the next year's club leader positions to. Obviously, this is probably the juiciest episode on this CD in terms of actually important plot elements, so even though we probably won't get a sequel anime about Kanade's third year of high school, we at least get confirmation on who will be her year's club president, vice president, and drum major. I'm not going to spoil it here in case you want to find out for yourself, but anyway, we get the new club leaders' reactions and it's a good time.
私たちの前の代は部長と副部長しかいなかったんだけど、負担が重すぎるって理由でドラムメジャーを加えた3人体制になったの。今年はそれでうまく回ったから来年もこの形で行こうと思ってて、誰に任せるかはすごく悩んだんだけど、最終的にこの3人が適任かなって思って今日は呼び出したんだ。
Episode 8 is called Former Club Leader Positions Meeting and takes place probably a day or two before the previous episode. In it, Kumiko, Shuichi, and Reina meet up alone to decide who should be the next club leaders. Many suggestions are thrown out, and it's interesting to hear Kumiko show off her incredible observational skills as she seems to have an opinion on every section and member of the band and who would or wouldn't fit each of the roles. Again, I won't spoil their final decision, but I do love Kumiko's reaction when Kanade is brought up.
久石はどうだ？2年生の中だと目立ってるイメージあるけど。
かなでちゃんか。悪くはないんだけど。
なんだよその言い方。
いや、目立ってるのは間違いないし、能力があるのも間違いないんだけど、いや。
So overall, the episodes in here are fun, though there's not too much in the way of big character development or plot details, besides the last two episodes, which is to be expected. This is just a collection of fun little side stories. One of my favorite aspects of these audio dramas, though, is that it really forces you to focus on the vocal performances of the actors. Obviously, they are all great, just like in the show, but I was really taken by Tomio Kurosawa's performance in particular across the CD. More so than almost all of the other characters, Kumiko has the most naturalistic and grounded speaking voice, and I felt like Tomio Kurosawa was able to inject so much realistic nuance into every breath and word. I do wish we got at least one episode focused just on Kumiko and Reina, maybe parting ways at graduation or something, because the 5th anniversary disc has a good Kumire episode, but maybe that's something they can do for the final compilation film. Anyway, that's gonna be it for the review. Tell me in the comments below if you're interested in getting the 10th anniversary disc for yourself, or you're like, nah, I'm good. If you already have it, let me know what you thought of it. And by the way, if you want to see me do a similar style review for the 5th anniversary disc, let me know. I would love to do that. Before I end the video, I do want to do one more thing. On my collection tour video, which was the first video on this channel back in January, I got a request to show off the physical contents of this CD, the Espressivo Euphonium 10th Anniversary Collection Wind Orchestra version CD. So hopefully this isn't too late and you're watching this video, or hopefully somebody else also wanted to see this. So this is the Espressivo Euphonium 10th Anniversary Collection Wind Orchestra version. So this CD has has orchestrated versions, or rather wind ensemble versions, of a bunch of the Euphonium OSTs, and also has a collection of all the wind ensemble songs that are performed throughout the show. So this is what it comes with. So it comes with a bunch of postcards here. These are the covers actually of the other Euphonium soundtrack CDs. So this is the season 1 soundtrack. The second is the season 2 soundtrack, the first movie soundtrack, second movie soundtrack, Chikai no Finale soundtrack, the ensemble contest soundtrack, and the season 3 soundtrack, and the back cover of the season 3 soundtrack. And it also comes with this stand, so I guess you can like, if you set this up, you can like prop up these little postcards. And then we have the CD itself. Kumiko there with the 10th anniversary birthday cake. The back just has a track list. And then here's a CD. So it comes with 2 discs. Disc 1 is the wind orchestra versions of all the main themes of the Euphonium original score. And disc 2 is all the wind orchestra songs that Kitauji performs. So inside the booklet, we have comments from the composers, Akito Matsuda, and some of the music producers and directors and stuff of the Euphonium series, and the credits. And that's about it. So yeah, that's what's inside Espressivo. Hopefully that answered your question. I realize it's like 3 months late, but hopefully this is still useful to somebody. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have an awesome day, and let the next piece begin.